Work for it more than you talk about it. The things you say about others say a lot about you. Stop choosing what's not choosing you. It's not the future that's hazy. It's your thoughts about it. Stop expecting life to be fair. Start expecting yourself to be a better player, capable of handling any situation. Private life always wins. Keep it secret till you win. You're very hard to control when you're healthy. You're very hard to manipulate when you're clear. You're very hard to influence when you're sovereign. Be alone until you're valued. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. Don't be upset by the result you didn't get from the work you didn't do. When you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you. Don't be afraid to start over again. This time, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. Learn to be okay with not being invited, included, or considered. You are right about all the things you think you need to do. Don't wait. Get started. Be a good person, but don't waste time proving it. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. Embarrassment is the cost of entry. If you aren't willing to look like the foolish beginner, you'll never be the graceful master. You are responsible for your own happiness. If you expect others to make you happy, you will always be disappointed. The hardest part is at the beginning of the journey. The rocket loses 90% of its fuel during takeoff. Today is the oldest you've ever been in your life, and the youngest you'll ever be again. Happiness is not for something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Expect little from people. Expect a lot from yourself. That's the secret of a happy life. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. Don't be afraid to give up the good, to go for the great. Be careful who you trust. Salt and sugar look the same. Being alone is really better than being with fake people who pretend to love you. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Most people stay in the same place for a reason. The things they hold dear are the anchors that hold them in place. Everyone you love in your life should be a safe space, not more stress that makes you worry or another battle you need to overcome. Your direction is more important than your speed. It takes a long time to realize how truly miserable you are, and even longer to realize it doesn't have to be that way. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do but gets you nowhere. No work is beneath you. The only thing that should be beneath you is your big ego. Work hard in silence and show your skills at the job you get rather than criticizing the job. The walls you build to keep things out are also keeping things in. Sometimes later becomes never. Do it now. May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. The secret to success is to do the common things uncommonly well. Time is your most valuable resource. There are no refunds or second chances for the time you waste. In most instances, obstacles are the way. It's better to be alone than in bad company. If you do not make yourself indispensable, you will be unemployed soon. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goals. The trail never comes from your enemies. You will never remember the days and nights you stay home and do nothing. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Where fear ends, the strength begins. What the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Always take responsibility for your actions, for it is the mark of a mature individual. There is no perfect time. You must take the time you have and make it perfect. The best thing about hard times is that you get to see everyone's true colors. If you don't value your time, neither will others. No relationship is worth damaging your mental health. There are times when you see someone for the last time and don't even realize it. Watch out. You'll never know the true value of the moment until it becomes a memory. If people took back the pain they caused you, you'd lose the strength you gained. Life will test you just before it blesses you. We generate fears while we sit. We overcome them by action. If you want to make the wrong decision, ask everyone. Don't look back. You are not going that way. You can either be a negative or positive person in life, but only one will get you somewhere. Never expose your next step. Just take the step. A fish with a closed mouth never gets caught. If you focus on the hurt, you will continue to suffer. If you focus on the lesson, you will continue to grow. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. If it keeps you happy, Keep it quiet. The family you create is more important than the family you come from. The more you know yourself, the less you need others' approval. The people who say you can't and you won't are usually the ones scared that you will. Be careful how you talk to yourself, because you are listening. Stop thinking you're doing it all wrong. Your path doesn't look like anybody else's, because it can't, it shouldn't, and it won't. The truth is, everyone is going to hurt you. You just gotta find the ones worth suffering for. Accept both compliments and criticism. It takes both sun and rain for a tree to grow. Do not allow small minds to convince you that your dreams are too big. When you try to please everybody, you almost always please nobody. We cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. Waiting for change while not doing anything for it is like waiting for the train at a bus stop. By 3 lessons, we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is the easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Don't let new wisdom lead you to condemn yourself over old struggles. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take, the relationships we were too afraid to have, and the decisions we waited too long to make. You can't make anyone love you, and you can't force yourself to love anyone else. Don't burn your opportunities for temporary comfort. Sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same. You think you know someone, but mostly you just know what you want to know. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. If nothing else, some people just teach you how not to be. The point of the argument is not to defeat each other, but to understand each other. Your value is not determined by someone else's inability to see your worth. We are the average of the people we spend time with. Surround yourself with good people to be a good person. Don't expect to see a change if you don't make one. Develop a willingness to be disliked. This will grant you the freedom to do what needs to be done, even if it's unpopular. Be brave enough to say what you want to say, not what people want to hear. There are no bad emotions, only bad reactions to them. You have to learn how to channel your negative emotions in a constructive way. People who show you new ways of thinking and new ways of seeing life are important. Don't be afraid to start over again. This time you are not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. Your friends and family do not always know what is best for you. Loneliness is the price you pay when you start to improve yourself. We often overestimate what we can do in a year, but underestimate what is possible in 5. Your past or childhood may be messy, but it's a great force in your future. Hands that were on your shoulder during bad times are more valuable than the hands that clap for you on your success. Accept things as they are. Life isn't about living in the past or living for the future. It's about living in the now. Characterize people by their actions, and you will never be fooled by their words. If you want to feel motivated to do something, take the smallest action towards doing it. People who play roles will eventually forget their lines. Pay attention. You are always responsible for how you act, no matter how you feel.